name is Kara Abdulmaleki. I am the language instructor here at Braden Center, and I mostly teach IELTS courses and writing courses to internationally trained professionals who are new to Canada and want to obtain licensure. Probably the most important tip would be to change their lifestyle. That is, what I notice is that when people come here, they talk about how they have trouble with listening, they have trouble with reading, and they are looking for some kind of a quick fix to improve their reading and listening. And unfortunately, I always have to tell them that there is no quick fix. You just have to change your lifestyle, try to read the newspaper more, try to read Canadian magazines, that have a higher level of English, for example, Maclean's, The Walrus. And for listening, for example, I introduced them to apps. There's a very good app called TuneIn Radio that they can get on their phone. Immigrating to Canada is actually the easy part. The hard part is putting your life together in Canada, starting from scratch again in Canada. Probably start working on your English from the home country. Do not start thinking about it after you reach Canada and after you land, because that's going to be very stressful. In general, I feel like people don't take English seriously enough when they want to immigrate to Canada, and then when they arrive to Canada, it suddenly hits them that, oh my God, I don't speak good English and I'm not getting any jobs because of it. Mm-hmm. And that's a very bad situation. Mm-hmm. As you know, we deal with this a lot here. Mm-hmm. I came as a student, yeah. Okay. So I applied to University of Alberta, University of Western Ontario, and University of Victoria, and I got accepted at University of Alberta and University of Victoria. Mm-hmm. And then I looked at the funding. The funding was better here. The weather was better there, and that's an important factor in Canada. I applied through PhD stream, yes. At that time, when I entered Canada, it was probably the most difficult time to be applying for PR through the PhD stream because of the Harper government, and they had made it very difficult for graduate students. That system is completely changed. Every few years they change the system, right? So right now it's the express entry. At that time it was skilled worker PhD stream. It took about a year and a half until I got the PR card. If you are not good with computers, then IELTS is better for you. If you are good with computers, if you can type fast, then definitely TOEFL is better. TOEFL is completely computer-based, so you have to go into a test center and you're sitting in front of a monitor. This makes it very, very easy to do the listening part, the reading section, because IELTS is paper-based, right? On the other hand, writing with a pencil can be, problematic. You have to have a few pencils when you go to the exam, and you have to create your own paragraphs. But for TOEFL, you don't have to do any of those. You just type. You don't have to erase anything. You can just go back and fix that for the writing section. So the problem with TOEFL is the speaking, because when you are doing the speaking section in TOEFL, you're basically speaking to a machine. The microphone goes on for 60 seconds, for some questions for 90 seconds, and then it turns off. If you don't finish your sentence, you are going to get a lower score because you have an unfinished sentence on your test. For IELTS, you're actually speaking to a person, so you don't have that problem of timing and of microphones turning on and off and things like that. Another problem with TOEFL is that everybody's doing the speaking at the same time, so it gets really, really noisy. And some people, when they're nervous, they start yelling, and that makes it very difficult to concentrate. I would say probably the most important thing for people to understand is IELTS is an academic test. There is a general IELTS test, but that's in Canada, that's only useful for immigration purposes. If you are a professional and you want to become licensed in Canada, for example, if you're a doctor, a nurse, a physiotherapist, things like that, you will need to take the academic test. And the academic test, more than anything else, is an attention to detail test. These are skills that are very Eurocentric. You know, in the Middle East, we are more have an overview of things. We look at things in a general way, and it's not to say that this is good or that is bad. It's just different, and it culturally it is a difficult test to take for people who are from Africa. I find they have a lot of difficulty because when I say pay attention to the details, they are just not brought up in that way. And then the English language in general, if you compare it to Arabic, for example, or to Persian, it is a very, very strict system, right? Arabic, Persian, those languages are more poetic, you know, they're more like French. But English is completely different, it's more mechanical. And that kind of mechanicality, you can see it in the test too. So people will have to take a look at some sample questions and try to understand the logic of the test. There is a certain cultural element to IELTS. And once you practice enough and understand that cultural element that is very specific to Europe and North America, then you will be more likely to succeed.
Okay. Thank you so much, Ka, for your
Welcome.
time. Thank you so much.
Yeah.